Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of On Point for today, Friday, the 13th day of June 2025. Of course, my name is Alexis Jeffers, and it is always my pleasure to come here on a Friday afternoon to spend 1 hour with you. And I always say that I forego my lunch hour, so to speak, to come and spend an hour. But while I forego mine, many of you are having lunch at this time, and I'm happy to keep your company for the hour and, of course, impart some information to you in the process. Before I get going, let me, as usual, shout up the folks who are listening to Von Radio here on the island of Nevis. All 5 parishes, good afternoon to you. Of course, down in St. Kitts, we do have a large following down there as well. So I want to say good afternoon to the entire island of St. Kitts who are tuned in to Von Radio at this time. And then we go further afield. Statia, for example, we have some persons from here in Nevis who are in the agriculture sector who would have journeyed down to Statia, I believe, for the weekend for an event there. So I wish them well. Hopefully they would have gotten there safely and already doing what they intend to do there. We do have a good relationship with the folks in Statia in the area of agriculture and other areas as well. Sabre, St. Bart's, of course, French and Dutch St. Martin, British and U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and then, of course, the United States, the entire United States from the eastern seaboard all the way into the heartland of America and across to the western flank of the United States, California, Oregon, Washington State, and, of course, the two states that are not a part of the mainland itself, United States, Alaska, and of course Hawaii. We do have nationals there, I'm sure. And then, of course, the entire Canadian province or country of Canada, but more particularly citizens more or less in the area of Toronto, Montreal, Quebec, and those areas. And I love to say Saskatchewan because I learned that way back in primary school as one of the provinces. I think it's a province, yeah? Saskatchewan, which is somewhere in the west of Canada. Okay, let's go up to Europe, England, Germany, France, Denmark, Switzerland, all those countries that make up the that are in Europe. I say good afternoon it is there at this time. And of course we go into Asia, and more particularly the Republic of China, Taiwan, where we have our citizens, whether going to school or working or perhaps just visiting. I say good morning to you. It's just about 5 minutes past 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning, that is. So I think I've covered all who I wanted to shout up at this point in time on all of the countries that I wanted to touch. And so we come all the way back to Nevis now, and let's get into the program as we normally would do at this time. So let me start by expressing my condolences to all who are in the bereaved column at this time. I don't have anyone in particular. Oh, yes, it just came to mind. I was informed earlier this week of the passing of Mr. Roy Simmons. Roy Simmons, I know for some years. I've been in the construction field, and also he was a fisherman. And in recent times, if you would see him traversing the island of Nevis, he's taking a concrete mixer to some job site somewhere, so he would have carved out a business in that area. But we learned of his passing. I was not here, but someone would have called me, I believe it was early on Wednesday morning, and informed me of that. And I want to express my sympathies there, of course. Yes, the whole thing about losing someone, it's always a difficult thing, a difficult situation to deal with, and I'm sure the family is going through some challenging and difficult times right now. And I want to express my profound sympathies to the entire family of Mr. Roy Simmons. He was living down there at Matchman's Road in Gingerland. And indeed, the Hanley's Road community as well will be grieving because, you know, he was from that general area. Hanley's Road, Matchman, same difference, so to speak. Just both roads are linked by just 1 or 2 roads, whether it's down at Rice's or even up at Matchman's area going through Church Road, that is, yeah? But anyway, it is certainly a sad time for those who are grieving, and I want to offer some words of comfort and pray that God would be in the midst of all your challenging and difficult times as it is now. Just to say that Valerie Brown, she passed away a couple of weeks ago. My understanding is that the funeral would be, I believe it's a Tuesday afternoon up there at the New Testament Church of God. I believe it's called up there at Craddock Road. That is the church right there in the vicinity of Gaspreys. I think that's where it would be. So those who can go out and lend your support to the family, it would be a good thing to do. And that is Valerie Brown from right there in Jessop's in the corner as you exit Jessop's heading up towards, towards the Anglican Church, right in the corner there. So that is what I would want to say about those two persons, and anyone else who are grieving at this time, whether here in Nevis, whether in St. Kitts or wherever you are and you're listening. We express our sympathies and pray for God's comfort at this time. Yeah. Okay, moving right along. But before I move any further, let me also express sympathies to all of the persons within our community who are nationals of India. Yesterday we learned of a major air disaster in India, where this aircraft, Air India aircraft, which was leaving Ahmedabad going to London Gatwick, 242 persons on board, which 230 passengers and I believe 12 crew members. And of course it appears that there may have been one survivor of that accident, but it was a tragic accident. Shortly after takeoff, the aircraft would have lost power for some reason and would have crashed, and obviously that indeed was a major air disaster. The reasons for that accident, of course, there are a lot of speculations out there, but most times these accidents are investigated, and what we call the black box and also the cockpit voice recorder, those things would be analyzed, and then a reason would be established for that accident, as has been done in previous accidents, of course. And so we await the final report on that. It will be it will be unwise of us to speculate as to what would have gone on, because the internet and social media is awash with all kind of speculation and all kind of theories. We don't necessarily want to get into that, but our thoughts and prayers should be more with the families that would have lost loved ones. And indeed, I want to express my sympathies in that regard. And why I say that is because India and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, well, we do share some relationship, of course. We have diplomatic ties with India, and indeed, I believe we do have a High Commission that is attached to St. Kitts Nevis or assigned to St. Kitts Nevis. I believe there is an Indian High Commission in St. Kitts. I might be, because I believe somewhere in 2008 that was established, but I am not certain. Sometimes these things would pass us by and we don't pay so much attention. But we've had bilateral arrangements with the with India for quite a number of years, and so we've had nationals of India who lives here, and I'm sure, even if they did not have a relative on that particular aircraft, there is some connection, because they are nationals of India, and whatever goes on in their country, they are in tune with, and I'm sure it will have an impact or effect on them. So I express my sympathies to all who are here among us, and it is certainly a tragic situation, and we wish and hope for some comfort at this time, even though it's a difficult one. Yeah. Okay, moving right along. Where there are sadness, there is also joy. And of course, there are persons who are celebrating at this particular time, whether an anniversary, a birthday, or some special occasion. I want to express best wishes to you. One of the persons I know, first and foremost, who is celebrating today is a cousin of mine, Miss Donna Jeffers. Donna is she works in the medical community here on Nevis, works at the hospital as an emergency technician. and also she lives over there in Nisbet Settlements. Donna, I want to express birthday greetings to you, and hopefully you would have lots of fun today. And of course, as I always say, go on out and have your fun. Spend some money on yourself, whether you're going to have a pedicure, manicure, or dinner, or whatever the case might be. Just celebrate. And that is what life is all about. I just spoke about persons who have lost their life yesterday, and I'm sure they were thinking about celebrating something today, or as in the case of some of them, they were thinking about a new life in London or in England, and that was not meant to be because they're no longer with us. So Donna, go and enjoy yourself. I also understand today is the birthday of Prince Walters. Prince I know for some years, and I'm sure if he's listening to me, Prince, happy birthday, sir. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day. And of course, there are other persons who are celebrating. Let's see, Troy Hendrickson. He's a captain for Blue Wave. Troy, I'm sure it's a surprise hearing me mentioning this, but I think I heard your name this morning on Von Radio's birthday greeting show. So I said, let me make a note and shout you up and say happy birthday to you. I know, Troy, you know how to celebrate, and I would say that you will certainly go out and celebrate accordingly, but do so with some brevity and also some boundaries, yeah. But have a drink, enjoy yourself, enjoy as if it's the last birthday you're celebrating. But we wish you many, many more to come. And then, of course, someone just came to mind, Joseph Brown. And I bet many persons out there would not know who Joseph Brown is. But anyway, anybody know the fella Castor from up there in Corrock Road? Have Brick Hill connection as well to today's Castor's birthday. Castor, have a wonderful day. And I would tell you Castor now to celebrate as well, so I don't even have to tell him to go out and celebrate and have fun. Castor is the father or the dad of the gentleman over there at Squeeze Them Up Bar, Danville Mill. So I'm sure Castor will be over there later this afternoon as well. So Castor, enjoy the rest of your day. And all those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, go ahead and have fun. Okay, let's move right along. Weather. Of course, I touch on this every time I come because outside, when I was coming into the building, the weather outside is just beautiful, wonderful. Nivision weather. Davis Peak is there in all its glory. Of course, you can see Saddle Hill. Sky is almost clear, and it's a very hot day here on the island of Nevis, but we take the weather as it comes. Sometimes we have sun, sometimes we have rain, and sometimes we have hurricanes, storms, tropical storms alike. And of course, we're in the hurricane season. I started on the 1st of June, and as I will do from time to time when I come here, is to continue to admonish our people to stay in a state of readiness. There are so many predictions out there this year, but we leave it up to the hands of God to protect us through this season, because we can always predict and speculate and say what may be the case, but we put our trust in God, and He would be the one to protect us and guide us through this season, and He certainly will not give us more than we can bear. But as it is, we can always be ready or in a state of preparedness in the event that something comes our way. And so continue to prepare and continue to look towards the east or the west coast of Africa, because that is where the majority of our storms will emanate or start and then come across the Atlantic Ocean towards us. So we pray for God's intervention in every possible way throughout this hurricane season. But let us move forward with confidence that He will be our protector. Okay? Moving right along. From time to time, over the last couple of weeks, I've been getting questions as to whether there would be a Herbert Beach affair this year. Let me say here and now, we're having a regular Herbert Beach affair down there at the Herbert Beach. The reason why persons have asked me is that they said they have seen many calendars and they haven't seen the Herbert Beach affair on any of the calendars. My understanding is that they have now put it on some fringe calendar. Well, whatever that means, I certainly don't worry anymore, because we've been having this event for the last 20 27 or 28 years. Well, let me say from 1997 thereabout. So you can do the math. I have stopped counting. All I do is count my blessings and name them one by one and look forward to each year when I can exert some effort to make sure we can have this event. And of course this year we're having the event. No need discussing size and so forth, but we'll have the usual bands, we'll have the usual music, we'll have the usual displays, we'll have the usual booth, we'll have food, drinks and everything down there, because Herbert Beach Affair continues to be one of the major events of the Culturama activities, and indeed Culturama will not be the same if there isn't a Herbert Beach Affair. Let's put it that way. And that has been the case since its inception, and we continue to make our contribution towards Culturama by having this event. It has been a challenge over the years because, like I said just now, that it is certainly not on the original calendars that are produced, but at some point it appears. And that being the case, I am saying to everyone, yes, there will be Herbert Beach Affair this year. And we'll have that Herbert Beach Affair in the memory of our good friend and departed friend, that is Mr. Burley Walwyn, who have been one of the key persons down there every year, who would have taken care of the infrastructure of electricity and otherwise to make sure that we have a good event. So that is truly on this year. Of course, I'll speak more about that as we go along over the next couple of weeks. Moving right along. Sunday, 15th June, 2 days from now, will be Father's Day. Yeah? And of course, many persons are asking, what is happening for Father's Day? Well, the Concerned Citizens Movement is having an event on Sunday, the 15th of June, Father's Day, for all of our fathers. All of the fathers here on Nevis are invited to this event. It will be down at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. Starts at 2 p.m. and goes to 7 p.m. Well, we'll have lots of games down there. Games, raffle, and all kind of entertainment will be down there. So it would start at 2 p.m. and go until 7 p.m. And we are inviting all of the fathers and dads and whomever or whatever you consider yourself to be, come on down and have fun with us down there at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. Compliments of the Concerned Citizens Movement. The entry is free. Food and drinks will be there. And of course, if one can think about what we did for our mothers on Mother's Day a few weeks ago, it will be, I almost want to say it will be almost the same, but I can't say that. What I'm going to say is that we'll have a wonderful time down there. You know, I sometimes laugh because, you know, dads are seen in a different light. But we normally would pamper our moms and make sure we give them the best. But dads can take whatever it comes our way. We take whatever comes our way and be appreciative of it. And that is why I say whatever we do down there on Sunday, it will be done for our dads. And we'll put on a good show. So come on down and have fun. On Sunday, the 15th of June, that is this Sunday, Father's Day. So let me wish all of our fathers in the meantime and in advance a wonderful, wonderful Father's Day. And of course, spend time with your children, spend time with your family, be pampered by them, and, you know, just enjoy that special day. Some of these days are put together, you know, as a commercial thing in some regard. But of course there is this special element to it that you should embrace. And of course I am going to enjoy my day on Sunday, my Father's Day that is. And of course I don't know who is going to take me somewhere, but if I don't get taken anywhere, I am going down to Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park for a wonderful day. So happy Father's Day to all of our fathers here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and further afield who are listening at this time. Have a wonderful time when it comes. And those of you, once again, who are on the island of Nevis, come on down to the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park on Sunday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. And let's have a wonderful time down there. Time to have some fun. Okay? Good. Moving right along. Okay. Just before I run any further, let me just say that, of course, I'll speak just now about the Wit Monday medical fundraiser that we had over there in Brooklyn. But that is out of the way to some extent, and we have some activities that we normally would place emphasis on. And of course, coming up soon, we'll have, well, there'll be music festival in St. Kitts for those who will be going to those events, or that event over there, couple of night of activities over there. Well, that is not so much why I mentioned that. I want to get to Mango Festival, which will be the weekend after Music Festival. So this will be from the 4th to the 6th of July, and that is in a few weeks from now. So it's coming up quickly, and that will be the 11th staging of Mango Festival. And I want to extend the invitation to one and all, wherever you are. If you have to take a plane to come. If you have to take a boat to come. If you have to get into your automobile from Hanley's Road, wherever you are, Fountain, Brick Hill, wherever you are, come on down and enjoy Mango Fest 2025. So it's the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think. But Sunday would be the big day, when we all will go down to Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park again and have a wonderful time down there. If you can recall what 2024 was like for the 10th anniversary, it suggests to me that you cannot miss this year's activity, because all indications are that it would be much better than last year. And if they're going to top last year or get something that is better than last year, then of course it's worth the while coming. So we'll see each other down at the Malcolm Gishard Park on the 6th of July. But there are other activities that you just have to listen up for and check social media for the activities leading up to Sunday the 6th. So God's willing, that's where we'll be. Okay, very good. And of course, Culturama is around the corner. We've heard a few songs thus far. So the Calypsonians are producing their songs and their music. Bands, of course, will be coming out shortly with some music. And of course, persons who have already booked their tickets to come to Nevis, I'm sure they're eager to come down to be a part of Culturama 2025, which is going to be the 51st edition. And I want to extend that invitation to everyone to come to Nevis for Culturama 2025, 51st anniversary of Culturama. So we'll hear more about that, but I just wanted to touch that as we go along. Yes, as I said just a while ago, on Monday, Wit Monday, this past Monday, which was the 9th of June, we would have had our annual Wit Monday medical fundraiser up there in the heart of Brick Hill. And let me say here and now that we had a wonderful time up there. I will also go on to say that prior to that day, there was a lot of work that was put in to get this activity up and going. And so once persons have worked, once the effort was exerted, it was a culmination of that when we had a wonderful day on Monday. Started somewhere around 6 in the morning and we went down until very late. Well, I had to leave at about 10:30, and when I left, persons were still there buying food and buying drinks and having a wonderful time. That being said, once you would have worked, we pay homage or thank you for your effort. Once you'd have worked, once you'd have contributed, and as I said last week and the week prior, that I will spend some time today to recognize all those who would have contributed in any shape or form to the success of this particular activity. I don't have the data or the numbers for you in terms of the monetary returns, because persons are still making contributions, and indeed those persons who are tallying the receipts, I am going to give them a few more days to get that organized. So I don't want to give a short report or half of a report, as they say sometimes. I want to give a full report when the time comes. God's willing, next week I'll come back with those numbers. Yeah, but I will say that we appreciate the support of everyone who came and bought breakfast, who bought brunch, who bought lunch, who bought dinner, who bought drinks, and anyone who contributed. But I want to recognize everyone individually So that is where the emphasis would be at this time, because I just don't want to give a blanket thank you. I want to say, well, these persons by name would have contributed in every shape and form to make sure that we had a successful event over there. So it will take me some time, bear with me, but to whom much is given, much is expected, and to whom much is expected, much must be given as well. So we can turn that around and place it however we want. But anyway, let us go through the names of those folks who would have gone above and beyond to make sure that this activity was a success. I will say, though, that the activity itself was one that was discussed by Mr. Amoy Nisbet and myself back in 2022 when we realized that the Wit Monday was somewhat vacant. Nothing was happening on that day, and we figured that we'll do something that was worthwhile, or that could be worthwhile in that persons can benefit, and not so much looking for benefits ourselves from persons coming and buying and then, you know, keeping the money, saying that we're putting on an activity for ourselves. We thought about others, and we thought about persons who are in need, persons who are going through certain medical situations that require some financial assistance, and that is why we came up with this particular activity. So I want to thank Amoy Nisbet, who play a major role in this particular event, because there are times when I forget something and he would be the one to remind me, and then we just bounce off of each other and come up with things that need to be done. And so it is not like we sit and plan something on paper. You know, we call up, and it's like there's a template that we have been following for the last couple of years. We call up, have you done this? Have you done that? Go and do this. Someone said, you know, that kind of thing. So that's how we operate. No major meeting or anything. And the good thing is that there are some persons who know what their roles are, and they just show up to do what they have to do. Okay? So, Amoy, thanks for your effort. I start with your name because you're the one who is like the fulcrum when it comes to this thing, huh? And I want to thank you for your effort. Of course, let's go through some names, and these are names that I want to document so that at least anyone who is listening or who get a chance to go back and listen to this program on Facebook or on YouTube can hear all of the names of persons who would have contributed in some shape or form. Okay. So Amoy Nisbet, Roy Nisbet, of course, Roy down the range here. Merose is like the person who gives us all of the advice and all of the energy down there. Monkey, I don't know Monkey's correct name, you know, but that's how these guys are in Brickhill and throughout Nevis, you know, they like to be called by their nicknames. So Monkey, everybody know who Monkey is. Well, Kevin Warner is the fellow they call Grugu. You all know Grugu. He works up there at the veterinary clinic. He's always there to help. Tobo, everyone knows Tobo from down there in Barnaby. He's one of our security guards. You know, he take care of the place on the Sunday night to make sure whatever we would have put in place is taken care of. Lester Carpy, he's a contributor as well. Esley, you all know Darling Cat, right? Darling Cat, yeah, he was one who went over there and made sure the place was raked up and cleaned up, along with Nurse Jean Harris, the Honorable Nurse Jean Harris, who always play her part. Right next door there, she normally come and do what is necessary without even asking. She just jump right in. Yvette Jackman, Patricia Patch Jeffers, you know, Pat is one of our favorite cooks over there. Good cook up and the likes, and also, you know, any other dish that you ask her to provide, she does that. And then she come and help in the bar as well. Jamal Sky Juice Jeffers, he's the one who does the beautiful posters that you see floating around Facebook. Thank you, Jamal, for your effort. And of course, down in St. Martin, let me recognize my uncle down there, Clarence Quayle, who would have sent his financial contribution. Ruby Wilkes is always someone who assists as well. Ruby Wilkes down there in St. Martin. Of course, Marva and Russell Brown would have contributed a goat for the goat water and the stew mutton and so forth. So I thank both Marva and Russell. Cassie Daniel up there in New York would have made his financial contribution. Thank you, Cassie. Nayoka Carey, Roy Daniel up in England, he would have made his contribution, and that is the brother of Carpi. Carpi, well, I say Carpi Daniel, but Lester Daniel, yeah? Okay, Roy Daniel. And then, of course, we have Samuel Blake. Let me just say Sam. Sam Blake. Everybody knows Sam there in Brickhill. Trisha, Mikey Johnson. Mikey Johnson is always there to provide some transportation and assisting whenever we ask him to go and pick up something. Rickel Mills. We also have Everson Webb. You all know Everson Webb, a Rasta guy who have this trucking business. I think it's called Evikaya Trucking. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, we all know Rastaman Ev from there in Cotton Ground. He normally lends us his dumpster, and if we ask him to pick up something, he would do so, and he played his part this time around as well. Thank you very much, Ev. And Ev is not from the Brickhill community or the St. James community, but he's always willing to help. Michael Webb made a contribution as well, and up there in Quaddock Road, Shaw's Road. Stoddard Daniel, you all know the former teacher. Very good maths teacher he was. He made his contribution as well. Javier Wilkinson, he has this trucking business, crane truck that is. Does a lot of work out of Long Point Port and other areas, and he's someone you'd want to call if you have something to take somewhere. So Javier Wilkinson and his brother Joan Wilkinson, who have his trucking and backhoe service as well. I'm telling you what these folks do on a daily basis, because you'd want to patronize them as well and patronize their business. And of course, Terran Blues Wallace, you all know Blues. He was instrumental in ensuring that we had ice and also power under those tents and so forth. I want to thank you, Blues. He's always one who is willing to help. Renita Pemberton and Drift Restaurant, they would have come on board and also offered a voucher, which was a part of the raffle that we had. And I'll speak about the winners as I get through these names. At the end of doing so, I'll let you know who the winners of those prizes were. Talia Jeffers made her contribution. Dexter Harley is always a huge asset to what we're doing. Thank you, Dexter. And Dexter is the proprietor and also the operator of that pizza place right next to the Van Samry International Airport. It's called Runway Grill, and we want to thank you, Dexter, for your help and assistance over the years. So go out and buy a pizza from Dexter and give him a sale whenever you can. Pastor Wenford Griffin and Mrs. Hester Griffin, they would have done some baked chicken for us. Thank you, Pastor Griffin and Mrs. Griffin, for your assistance. Of course, Vanilla Nisbet, slow down, Vanilla Nisbet and Flavors Restaurant would have done their part as well, providing Johnny Cake and other things for the event. Thank you, Vanilla and your team. Of course, Ev Walters from up there in Whitehall. Well, go to all I would say to, Ev and I grew up together. He made his contribution. Thank you, Ev. Beyond Griffin. And, you know, Brian has a truck there now that he does some trucking as well. You know, so he works over there at Customs, but he have this other bit of business he does on the side. Any assistance that that you can give to him in terms of business, please do so. Joyce Moving made her contribution. Siquip, so Carl Liebert, Mr. Carl Liebert over there at Long Point, and his business would have made a financial contribution. We thank you, Carl, and your team. Anthony Doe, a cousin of mine there from Hickman, a plumber, made his contribution as well. Thank you, Anthony. And then if you want someone to do some plumbing for you, Anthony is the guy to call. He has been in that field for some years, and he has that experience and expertise. Cabo up there in Fountain, Cabo would have done a pot of goat water for us. Well, I was thinking that we would have had a competition between, let's say, Roy Nisbet, who did the goat water in Brickhill, and Cabo, but you know, it's not. This was not the occasion for it. Let's put it that way. At some point, we need to have a goat water competition here in Nevis, though, because everybody boasts that theirs is the best. And I had a taste of Cabo's goat water, and it went down well. And I don't want to say whether it was better than Roy's or Roy was better. Both of them went down well, and for now, and I'll leave it as that. So thank you, Cabo, for your effort and giving back to the community. Gator Elliott would have provided us with some sugar cane and other things. Thank you, Gator. Over the years, you continue to contribute, and we appreciate. And you're someone who is not from the St. James community, of course, but either which way, when we come asking, you have provided. And then Stress Me Bus Services, that is the fella, the Bombo. Those of you who know Bombo, he is a postal officer, a postal service delivery man, or whatever you want to class him as. But he also have his bus service. Will have done some salad for us, green salad that is. Tyrone Bryant, he also have a bus service as well, and he would have done his salad as well for us. Thank you, Tyrone. Well, we call him Suspect. Let me not be official about it, because these guys love to be called by their nickname. Suspect, thank you for your contribution, yeah? And if you can patronize these bus operators, please do. Valencia Griffin, thanks for your contribution as well. Aljiska Burke up there in Madden's would have done some salad for us as well too, green salad, and thank you, Aljiska. Aisha Douglas, that is the sister of Amoy Nisbet, should have made her contribution. Thank you, Aisha. Verl in Glasgow, thank you for your contribution as well. And of course, my cousin there, Leonie Skeet, she was there from breakfast until the end of the event, yeah? And she's always a good helper, did all of the eggs and what's not, and came and served and so forth. Thank you, Leonie. Support is always good. Chanel Skeet as well, my cousin, who would have come and, you know, handled the finances in terms of cashing and so forth, and I guess the report would come from her soon regarding what the return was for that day. Thanks for your effort. Velma Jones. Velma, listen, let me just say I love you, Velma, because I don't even have to ask twice, you know. Just say it once, and you always show up to lend your support. Thank you very much. You were there putting in the effort. And Leon Paul every year is there to help with serving in the bar, in the food stall, and we thank you very much. But let me stop there for a quick bit and say good afternoon to Widow down there in St. Croix. We say Widow, yeah? We don't know who she is, and all of us in Brickhill know who Widow is. Well, her correct name is Nelma, Nelma Greenaway, but we just say Widow, and we all know who that is. I say that because the property or the plot of land that we normally use there in Brickhill belongs to Widow, and without her consent to use that area, we won't. Well, we'll probably have somewhere where we can go, but we will not have a place which is so convenient right in the heart of Brickhill and lends itself to good ambience like that area. And we want to thank Widow for allowing us to use that area for this particular event. Then Denver would have done all of the spare ribs, and then when she was done baking all of those spare ribs, she still came and served in the food stall. So Denver would have done more than enough, went overboard and came and make sure that we were able to serve our guest. And then of course we go on to Regan Daniel, who would have done the stew pork. Well, let's back up. Regan wouldn't want me to talk about stew pork, stew mutton. And Regan would have done an excellent job on that, and then she came down and served in the food stall as well. So thank you, Regan, for your effort. Well, Cheryl, I love you very much, you know, but you're the transportation personnel or transport guru. You're the one who go around and pick up stuff in Butlers and Hickman and wherever else. I don't want to say on the radio that you say you don't like cooking. I believe you could cook, but you prefer to drive, you say, right? So we appreciate that. And nobody go and tell Cheryl she can't cook, but she just don't want to cook for that day. So Cheryl, thank you for your effort over the years. Every year Cheryl call and say she'll pick up. Not only pick up, she drop off the raw material and then go back and pick up, right? So thank you, Cheryl. Esther Jeffers, Mrs. Esther Jeffers up there at Cistern Pot. She would have done the cook up and also saltfish. So we had saltfish for breakfast and then some cook up later. Thank you, Esther. I took a lot out of you, I'm sure, but I know you feel good about doing this for a worthy cause. Cordelia, Mrs. Cordelia Brown, she would have done some breakfast item as well. And Cordelia, we appreciate your effort, and every year when we call, no problem. You see how quiet I was? That's how Cordelia is. No problem, I'll do it. And she would have done so this time around again. Thank you, Cordelia. Ethelyn and Jacqueline Doe, cousins of mine down there in Hickman, would have done the macaroni pie. And of course, we appreciate that, Ethelyn and Jacqueline. And as a team, whether it's Ethelyn, whether it's Jacqueline, or whether both of you, you always come through, and we thank you. Elsa de Lashley would have done some baked chicken for us. Elsa, thank you very much. Well, what can I say, Elsa? We appreciate you taking the time out and delivering accordingly, yes? Up there in Fountain, Livingston David. Many of you won't know who that is, but let me give you his nickname. Livingston David is Disco. You all know Disco. He has a rental business. He also have he's a farmer as well, a livestock farmer. So he would have made a contribution of a goat to us. And we thank you for that, Disco. And like I said, he has a car rental business. If you can patronize Disco, please do. Because, of course, that is how we can certainly go back next time around to ask for something. And I thank you, Disco. And, of course, Morris Hanley would have made his contribution. Morris have a garage up there. He does body work and everything. So if you can patronize him, please do. Thomas Doe, livestock. You know, farmer as well, and does plumbing also. He would have contributed a goat as well, and we thank you, Thomas. Thomas was one of the recipients, I believe 2 years ago, of some of the finances that we would have had, or the returns we would have had then, and he continued to make his contribution, giving back, you know, to a worthy cause. Last year he did contribute a goat, and this year he did so as well, and I want to thank you, Thomas. And also Farrell Smitten down there in Libert Hill. He gave us a whole pig. Farrell, good afternoon, sir, and hope all is well. Thank you for your contribution. So we were able to get a pot of stew pork out of that pig which we got from Farrell Smith. And as I touch on that, let me say thank you to Big John down there at Weekends. He was the one who did the stew pork. So if you think that it was very nice and tasty, succulent, or whatever the case might be, that was Big John. He's a very good cook. And we all know that because when we go down to, down to Weekends to buy a dinner or whatever the case might be, Big John is the one who does most of the cooking on there. Thank you, Big John. Sicely Philip, thank you for your ice and your contribution there. Kevin Wilkin as well would have contributed ice. We thank you, Kevin. Now, June Isles Smitten, Jonica Smitten, and Jediamond Smitten, those three ladies held down the bar from breakfast all the way down to dinner and into the night. Three of them held down that bar, yeah? So June, Jonica, and Jediamond, I thank the three of you for your effort. You would have done a marvelous job to, take care of that bar and make sure that those who were buying drinks got their drinks. And I didn't hear any complaints. But I think people hang around the bar because three ladies were there doing a marvelous job. And we thank you for your effort, yeah? So, June, take a bow. George Bottai Chapman. He has his business, heavy equipment business, and also into rental as well, rental of units as well. And George Chapman would have made his contribution. Bottai, thank you for your contribution. When we call on you, you're always there to provide, and we thank you very much. Same thing with Heinz Electrical and Engineering Service, HES, as his business is called. Thank you for your generator, and thank you for making your contribution. We appreciate it. And as I call these businesses, like I said, make sure go out and patronize them. Okay, Frank Snowflakes and the boys, they played some music for us later on in the afternoon. We thank you for your entertainment. Guys, you did a wonderful job, and I think they're now out there open for business, playing at hotels, restaurants, and the like. So if you need good, clean reggae music, calypso and spooge and anything, they're available to you. And same thing I want to do with the Grandmasters Band. They came and gave us some entertainment in the evening, and we thank the Grandmasters Band for coming over. Sugar Hill Band, String Band, we know who they are. I want to thank all of those guys for coming and playing in the afternoon. And of course, Itebulus would have warmed up this stage for Grandmasters. Thank you, Itebulus, for showing up. We appreciate it very much, and you did a marvelous job, because I see some ladies from St. Kitts move up to the stage because you were able to draw them closer to the stage. You're good enough to do that. Thank you. None of this entertainment would be become a reality without the equipment or the infrastructure for the music to be played. So Darren Sutton I want to thank you for coming through again this year. Over the years, for the last 4 years, you have loaned us your system free of cost. And we want to thank you, Darren, for your effort and for contributing in such a marvelous and huge way. Thank you, Darren. And of course, on that system, all of these people were playing, including DJ Lalbo. You know DJ Lalbo, works over there at the port. Happy belated birthday, Lalbo. I have something for you. I'm going to check in with you, yeah? DJ Zimba, of course, is one of my favorite in terms of someone who works with me all the time. Thank you, DJ Zimba, the Rhythm King, they call him. And of course, coming all the way from St. Kitts. I don't think we called him. Maybe he called, but he showed up and he said, come and pick me up. And that's DJ Wet Dot. He's always on board. Every time we have something there in Brick Hill. He has Brick Hill connections anyway, but he's like a Brick Hill man. And of course, I want to thank the Nevis Island Administration Service, Nevis Island Administration, Social Services, Ministry of Education, Premier's Ministry, all within the Nevis Island Administration that played their part in terms of contribution towards this event in whatever shape or form, whether it's tent or whatever the case might be. I thank you very much. One Coco would have provided the toilets that were there. I want to thank Elson for coming to put the items on the ground there, and we appreciate that very much. And indeed, the overall manicure and landscaping of the area that we had that event was done by Glenroy Stapleton. We call him Shiny. Nobody want to be called by their first name. So Shiny, thanks for your effort to clean up the area there. And of course, my friend there, Herbert Bishop, would have done some Johnny cakes. I want to say to any shop operator out there, if you want some Johnny cakes, you don't want to fry them yourself or prepare them, well, give some work to Herbert Bishop. Sure, her Johnny cakes are very nice. Now, you pay her something and then you sell for a little bit more. You make something, she makes something. So, Herbert, I'm starting a business for you. You could supply some of these shops with Johnny cake, you know. Stay busy. Make $1, yeah? Okay, Danny Wallace, teacher Danny Wallace down there in Nisbet Settlement. I want to thank you for all of your effort. Every time she's called upon, she delivers. So, Danny, thank you for your contribution this year as well and over the years. And then Omel, well, we call her Cookie. We call her Cook. Well, she can really cook, you know, because she prepare pots and pots of saltfish for us for breakfast. Omel, thank you very much. And without hesitation, if you tell Omel you're going to give her a case of saltfish, say bring it. And we would have taken the saltfish there, and Derek would have helped to prepare as well. Derek did it. So thank you both. Up there at Link Up Bar, Raquel, that, what you call it, oxtail that you would have prepared. There were many good reviews coming in, Raquel. You did a marvelous job again, as you've done over the years. Thank you for your effort. Oxtail went just like that, quickly. Everybody wanted a taste of that oxtail. Lakeisha Tootsie Daily. You all know Lakeisha. Tootsie. Let me say Tootsie. She would have prepared the fish. My. Wonderful job. Thank you, Lakeisha. And I want to thank Malta down there. Spanish lady, the bottom of Shaw's Road, for her contribution. We would have bought some, and she contributed some fish as well. Thank you. I spoke about Big John, so let's move on. Stephen Kong Mills, contractor over there in Brick Hill. Thank you in advance for your contribution. And you did commit to something. I'm saying it here now. So, Stephen or Kong will come in for the contribution, yeah? Okay, thank you. Ravi, you know, Ravi, Guyanese guy there who have this heavy equipment business. He made his financial contribution as well. Thank you, Ravi. And we appreciate your effort. And you've always said, whenever, just come and check. So we appreciate that. Minister Eric Evelyn would have made his contribution as well. Thank you very much, Eric. And of course, we're going to be waiting on a contribution from Henry Cole. He said he's coming up and he'll bring the contribution with him. So thank you in advance, Henry. Steve Tyson over there at Nelson Spring Waters. You know, Steve, this year I'm not forgetting you. The good thing is when I came to your business place, as soon as I walk up to the young lady there, Jerisa, I think it was, she said, how many cases do you want? Yeah? Usual amount we got. So it means that you were prepared for us before we even came. Thank you very much. So that is the #1 water, choice of water here on the island of Nevis, because the other water that are being sold, which I won't get into, but let me say Steve Tyson, patronize him. Does good business, and he does a lot of business in St. Kitts as well too. Nelson Spring Waters. Vida Liquor Store down there at Penny's. Prim, thank you and your staff for your assistance. We have gotten quite a bit of liquor from you, and we were able to sell quite a bit as well, thanks to you. I want to also thank Lewigo Bus Service for picking up the bandmen and so forth, grandmasters that is, and also bringing them up to the event to play. I want to thank the police for their security. They would have provided some security for us to make sure that everything went well. Monica Jones. Monica would have fried some chicken for us. Thank you, Monica. And your chicken came in just in time. Every time Shanice brought a batch, they went just like that. So you did a marvelous job. Thanks, Shanice, and everyone else who would have helped you at home there, Monica, to get that done. Sandy fried chicken, I'm sorry I didn't send 2 cases of chicken up to Sandy. We will send 1. And as soon as they came, within an hour or less, all of Sandy's fried chicken were done. You all know Sandy have a special type of, some special ingredients that he used on his chicken. So everybody, when they heard Sandy fried chicken was there, they came and they bought them up and they were gone. So Sandy, next time I'm going to send 2 or 3 cases to you. Yeah? But if you want Sandy's fried chicken, tonight would be a good night to go up to Sandy's fried chicken there in Brown Hill. Just make the entrance into Brown Hill and keep driving. Don't make any turn. Just keep driving all the way up to the hill there where he's located. Yeah? So try him out. Gwyneth Brooks, we got some conky from you. All of the conkies were gone. Thank you, Gwyneth, for your effort. We didn't ask you, but you called and say you had some conky, and I thank you for that. Islander Water Sport continue to play their part in community development and community work. So he would have transported the band, and he would have made his contribution by way of drinks and so forth. So Vincent Perkins, we said Plug Eye, thank you. Over the years, you have always been a contributor to what we try to do in the community of St. James, and we appreciate it, and hopefully your business will continue to grow from strength to strength as people continue to travel with you. You utilize your services and travel with you. Somebody sent some cake there. I don't know who sent it, but the cakes were sold out, and I want to thank whomever. I didn't get a name, but some cake were there on sale. Thank you for that. Russell Jeffers Gaskell. Russell, thank you for your contribution of the chicken that you would have contributed. We appreciate it very much, and we look forward to future contribution as well. And my good friend, she was here on the radio with me a few weeks ago, Monique Washington. She would have made a contribution of a case of chicken. Thank you, Monique. Your chicken came in handy, and they were all sold off as well. Chanelka Lescott would have stored some stuff for us in her freezer. We want to thank you, because as simple as it is, it was huge in that it gave us a chance to store some stuff in advance of the event. Von Radio would have done the publicity of the event on the community calendar. I want to thank the management and staff here at Von Radio. Nevis Food Center would have given us some discount on items. And of course, this is the biggie. Tire World Hardware and Electrical Supplies over there at Newcastle, just opposite the Van Summer International Airport. Good afternoon to you, Arnold, and thanks for your contribution. Man, you continue to contribute to this community, and we wish your business well and wish you well. When we call, you listen, and when you listen, you deliver. And we want to thank you, and we want persons to patronize Tire World, because they're now into hardware and electrical supplies over there. So just drive into that establishment and have a look, and you'll see the wide array of items that they have on sale. Of course, Jamal Daniel, he's into surveying and works for the Nevis Island Administration. He made his financial contribution. Thank you very much, Jamal. And when we call on you, you always deliver. My good friend there, Clive Pemberton, made a contribution of some drinks, and we want to thank you, Clive. He's into the tile. Well, he's a tilesman. You have a tiling business, and if you want a professional to come and do some tile work for you, Clive is the man to call. Yeah. And of course, Janice and my good friend the Tringy Perkins, thank you for your contribution of your drinks, and we appreciate that. And of course, I don't think I called Janice for anything. she would have called me and said they'll make a contribution. So that's what we like, when persons come forward without being prompted to do so. They come forward and make contributions, and we appreciate. Asim Chapman, brother Botai, he also operates heavy equipment. He made his contribution. So Asim, thank you very much for your contribution. Now, I went through a whole list of persons. If I miss one or two, I'm going to be told about that when I get on the street, and I'm going to come back here next week and mention those names. But I sat down and went through the whole list of persons who came back to mind and who I would have recorded. So those are what I have. And of course, there may be more, and there will be more. So I'll come back next week and give you the remaining names. But in the meantime, like I said, we had a raffle on that day, and the winners are as follows. Sylvester Pemberton. Well, every year Sylvester come and he makes sure he tell me, you see I here again. So for his effort, and his luck was riding that day, so Sylvester would have won a Black & Decker juicer. Sylvester, I have it in my Jeep, so I'm going to find you when I leave here to hand it over to you. And of course, Lucina Williams, that's a teacher up there at the St. James Primary School. She would have won a dinner for two at Drift Restaurant, so we'll get her voucher. Vidal Jones would have won a dinner for two at Weekends Restaurants, so he will get his vouchers as well to go down to Weekends Restaurant. And then Compassionate Touch would have contributed to this raffle a massage, which was won by Althea Brown. I'm now wondering if Althea Brown is the wife of Astro Brown. I believe so, you know. She was there, Astro was there, so I can only assume that might have been her. But, you know, the persons who are dealing with these things would have certainly made the call to ensure that they inform each of these winners. So those were the winners for the raffle we had, and I'm sure they're all happy that they would have come there, yes, to spend some money, but they're left with something. And then we'll continue to do this over and over again so that we can play our part in the community that we so love, the parish and constituency of St. James, so that we can take care of the needs of our people. And so, in spite of all of the hard work and in spite of all of the challenges, I think we came through in flying colors this year, and it certainly gives us the momentum and gives us the impetus and also the encouragement to continue to undertake this particular event. And so, God's willing, we are back at it next year, and so we continue to play our part in our community's development. I took some time, yes, but that is what this is all about. I had some other things to talk about. We'll leave that, because I did travel to St. Bart's on Monday morning, bright and early. Had a presentation to make there at the Carib Avia, however you want to pronounce it. I say Carib Avia because it's a conference geared towards aviation, tourism, and investments. And I made a presentation there at about 9:30 on Tuesday morning. So coming out of all of this work, I had to continue on my journey. Went on a plane and got down there in time to make that presentation, which I believe I did a marvelous job in speaking about the Van Samra International Airport expansion and development. So we'll speak more about that next week, because there were some things that we were able to establish, and I want to at least speak to the general public about that, so that the general public can understand that we are trying our best to push Nevis forward, and to make sure that we are growing Nevis together and making sure that Nevis is known here, there, and everywhere. And so it is important for us to make these journey and take these conferences seriously, so that we can get the word out about Nevis and get persons coming here to spend and to contribute to the development of our beloved island. Well, I hear the music in my ears, so it therefore means that it is time to exit this program at this time. As I always say, if you go to church on a Saturday, go and serve your God. If you go to church on a Sunday, do likewise. Sunday will be a special day for all of us who are fathers, all of us who are dads. I want us all to have a wonderful Father's Day, and be reminded of that event down there at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park, starting at 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. Lots of fun, entertainment, games, dominoes and the like, so come on down. Food and drinks will be there, so you'll have the whole package, so to speak, to benefit from and to enjoy. Thank you very much for listening. This has been another edition of On Point for today. I want you to go to YouTube or Facebook, wherever this show is archived, if you miss any portion, to listen once again. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend, and God bless each and every one of you. God continue to bless this station, and I ask for his blessings as well. Goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants.